Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the Friday slate. Happy Friday to everybody watching. We have 9 games tonight, coming off of a pretty crazy 5-game slate where even after the updated video, there were just so many injuries that came out after that with Trae Young, Ben Simmons, and then guys being limited and weird starting lineups. So hopefully today is not a similar story and we can kind of just don't have to scramble too much before lock. So let's get started. As always, appreciate you guys to the like and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter for updates at the DFS process. Check out the website. Check out Price Picks. That info's in the description. So fell short yesterday, looking to close out the work week with a strong day today on this 9-gamer. As of now, there's not a ton that we don't know that we're waiting on, but I'm sure we'll kind of get some new news as the day goes on. Starting off here at point guard, he starts with Harden at 10-6. Then it's both of the Brooklyn Nets guys, Harden and Kyrie, are leading the way at point guard in terms of price. I don't think I'll have either one. Yeah, Westbrook cheaper at 9,000. He's back to playing like almost full minutes now. Probably will play full minutes in like close game. Got a triple double. Almost had a triple double the game before that. He's been a lot better recently, and I do think that it's a spot where you never know what kind of performance you're going to get with these Wizards every night. But I do think he can hit value at 9,000. He just gives you so much upside now that he's back to playing over 30 minutes. Brogdon looks decent, but I think that there's some better options here. Van Fleet, fresh off of the best performance in Raptors history, scoring 54 on 11 of 14 shooting from distance. That definitely bumped up his 3-point percentage on the season by a lot. Definitely, there's going to be a lot of people that go right back to him or that didn't play him and go back to him tonight. You can do that if you want to because he's still cheap on Draftkings. But I just don't like chasing that sort of performance. Lowry is 78, so I do think I'd vote Van Fleet over Lowry, but Lowry's also been playing better basketball, so I think both are in play. But I do think that Lowry will be lower owned, so if you want to play the lower ownership game, then go to Kyle Lowry. Then don't have interest in Holiday, don't have interest really in Mitchell or Mike Conley or LaMelo Ball. Sexton is questionable. If he misses, then that game can get pretty ugly. If he's in, if he misses, then you can maybe look to Garland. But if he's in, I'm not playing him at 7,000. Russell, they continue to list him questionable. He's been playing some games, not playing some games. The minutes have also kind of been down on the entire team, especially the starters. But you don't see very many guys on the Timberwolves logging 34, 35 minutes, which is tough from a DFS perspective, hitting your value and hitting your ceiling. Kemba looks to be a decent option. They've been limiting his minutes as well. If he gets you 30 minutes, that's could be enough to hit value at this price tag if Jaylen Brown is out. So he's still in play. I wish he wasn't limited to 30 minutes. Then you have Kobe White. Don't think I'll go to him, but he's in play at 6,000. Garland, if there is no Sexton, would be better, but that game is just going to get scary if there is no Sexton. And then you have Dragic, who be back here. I think he's been back for a couple games. Minutes have also been way down been down a decent amount since Butler's been back. So don't think I'll go to him. And then we have Cole Anthony, just with all the injuries on Orlando, he's been playing a lot better and playing a lot more minutes. He's 57, so he's not super cheap. I think there's some better options here. Guy that I will definitely have is Theo Maledon at 5,000. He is just really cheap. The OKC Thunder super banged up here. Still missing the guys that were out last game. No SGA, no George Hill, and no Dort tonight. So you're going to see Maledon play heavy minutes. Played 36 in that blowout win against Houston. Even though he just shot 2 of 12, put up 28 DraftKings points thanks to 7 stocks. So you give him 30-plus minutes. He's going to shoot a bunch. He can make some plays, especially on the defensive end. So he looks great. It's a great spot against Minnesota. They give up so many fantasy points and so many points in general, and they play fast that I definitely think the Thunder will be able to put up some fantasy scores and put up some high scores today. And then you have Rubio looks a punt option here. You have Lou Williams at 44 without Beverly. He's been playing more minutes. Still at a good price tag. Could be worth a tournament shot. And mainly it here. So definitely Theo Maledon is the guy that I want to have. At shooting guard, I like Zach LaVine. Sticks out at 8,400. The price tag on him has come down pretty significantly. He has been just doing his thing most nights. Bad performance last time in terms of shooting, 0 of 7 from 3. But he's a guy that's been routinely over 9,000, 97, 95. Getting him at 84 against Orlando, it's not. It's a lot better spot than you would think, just because they're super banged up with injuries. A lot of their defensive players are out, so I think Levine looks to be a good option. I like him. Probably won't get up to Bradley Beal or James Harden today, just because I like a lot of guys in the 8K range, whether it's Zach LaVine, and then we'll get to a few other ones. You also have Van Fleet here, looks decent. Booker, I haven't been playing him at all this season. Don't think that'll change today. And then we have probably a spot to go decently cheap here if we're not going to go up for like a Levine. You have Diallo at 5,200. He's going to have to be the guy that scores on the team and make some plays here. 5,200 for him, played 33 minutes. Almost had a double-double. Looks to be a fine option. Jeremy Lamb also looks decent against the Pelicans. Seems to be not as safe as originally thought. We only played 18 minutes against the Bucks. They got blown out and it was a back-to-back. That could be a reason why. The price tag has come down a bit on him, so I don't mind it. Do think that there's some better plays though. So I would definitely look at Diallo. He looks to be a great play. You could definitely take a shot on like Terrence Ross, although he's been bad recently. Yeah, Lou Williams, decent option here, but I think that if you wanted to go cheap here, there is definitely a guy that I don't think too many people will be on, and that's Denzel Valentine. $3,400 for Valentine. It's a spot without Otto Porter, who's already been ruled out, so he's going to be in the rotation. With Porter healthy, he doesn't really play much, but without Porter, he's going to be the 8th or ninth guy off the bench, and playing in the 20s in minutes at 3,400, a guy that can definitely get hot. Shooting, not a lot of value right now, so I definitely feel good about Valentine at this price tag. And then moving on to small forward, you have pretty underpriced guys, and especially Durant's cheap compared to where he's been, but you have like Kawhi Leonard is super cheap at 8,800 against Boston. Should be a close game where we'll have to get the full minutes out of Kawhi, whether that be like 38 to 39 minutes, and that would be great for him. He's never been this cheap. So I definitely feel good about targeting Kawhi Leonard, given the big price decrease on him. And we have Jimmy Butler, who's also been playing great since he's been back and playing like full minutes, not even being limited at all. 83 against Washington, a guy that can flirt with a triple-double, plays good minutes. I think he also looks to be a guy that we can go to. And then you have like Brandon Ingram, but I prefer the other two more than Ingram tonight. Hayward looks decent against his former team, but I don't really feel great about targeting guys against Utah. And then you have Jeremy Grant, who's only 7,000 against Phoenix. Back to his regular self last game, 44.5 fantasy points against the tough Jazz defense. He has just been the best player on the Pistons all season. Hasn't really changed at all. Some games he's struggling with the shot, but he's still shooting over 40% from 3, shooting over 45% from the floor, averaging basically 6x at the salary. I think he looks to be a good cheap option. And then you have like Baisley at 57. He's going to play a lot, and he looks to be a good play. You have Edwards, also a decent option here. Diallo looks great. And then you have like Kenrich Williams as another cheap option at 3,500. He's going to probably start in place of Dort, and I think he can be a good option that we can go to tonight at only 3,500. Then you also have Danny Avdija at 3,900, and yeah, Patrick Williams. Without Otto Porter, his minutes are going to be a little bit more secure. So you do have your fair share of pay-up options and your fair share of value options at a small forward. For me, it's going to be tough for me to get away from Diallo at his cheap price tag. Power forward, it's Giannis. It looks great at 10.8. If this game happens to stay close, like he should go nuts. Also a big risk in that happening. I like Tatum, especially if Brown is out. Tatum looks great. But Sabonis seems to be really cheap compared to, like, I don't know why they haven't bumped up his price tag. He's been cheap the past few games, 87, 83, 86. He should be back over 9,000. He was almost 10,000. He was over 10,000 at the end of January, and we're getting him at 86 against the Pels. Just fire him up. I don't see him not going crazy again tonight. So I love some Sabonis. At this position, I like Grant. Thaddeus Young has been playing out of his mind recently. Price tag continues to go up on him, but he's been making the most of it. And without Porter, that's not going to hurt him at all. His minutes are going to be even more secure. So I think he also looks decent. Baisley looks great. And that's mainly it. You could take a shot on Prince without Nance, but, Prince or Patrick Williams also looks good. Center, it's Vucevic. Looks great. 85 against Chicago. No Wendell Carter, so that front court is really undersized. Gafford isn't great defensively. Markkanen can't keep up with Vucevic in the paint. So I think Vucevic is going to go nuts here. I think he looks to be one of the better center plays. You could also play Sabonis at center. You can take a shot and go cheap with like Ayton or Gobert, or go with Thaddeus Young at 62, or take a shot on Plumlee. Those are the centers that kind of have my attention on Draftkings. But Vucevic, tough to get away from him. 85 against Chicago, at least in cash. And then, last but not least, going to go ahead and put in Kawhi Leonard at the forward spot. 88. It's just pretty cheap for Kawhi. I don't know why he's that cheap. There are a lot of cheap players on the slate, undersized stars. But Kawhi definitely sticks out. Vucevic sticks out, and Sabonis sticks out. So, wanted to get all three of them in there. So that's pretty much it for the DraftKings breakdown. Gonna jump over to Fanduel now. Alright, on Fanduel here, point guard wise, it's Westbrook, 9,800. Definitely priced up more than he is on DraftKings. He looks fine if he gets some more value on the slate. I like him more than Irving. Lowry's price tag has quickly jumped up to 85, so it's gonna be. He looks good, but sometimes it can also struggle from the floor and then kind of just suck in general. But recently it's been good, but I don't know how long that'll continue. Do like the savings on Brogdon at 78. Definitely don't think I'll have LaMelo, Conley, or Lonzo. Garland, Rozier, White probably won't get to them either. I do like Kemba, especially if Brown misses. Even if he just gets 30 minutes, that price tag is too cheap at 5,700. Cole Anthony also looks to be a great play, and that Maladon has some other cheaper options that we can target. So point guard, not a ton of studs on the slate besides a few. I think I'll kind of capitalize on that and go cheaper at the position for a guy like Kemba Walker, who did get the day off last time, and if there is no Jaylen Brown, he's just going to be a lot better of a play. Shooting guard, it's really, I'm looking at Zach LaVine. I think he looks the best out of the top four based on the matchup and based on the price tag. Like, Van Fleet's more expensive than him. That's worked out recently, but I think over the course of the season, LaVine is going to be much better than Van Fleet. Bradley Beal, tough to pay $11,000 for him almost when there is Westbrook. And Harden, I just don't play him right now unless they're missing Irving or Durant. So give me Zach LaVine at 89. And then you have a couple of cheap options that we can consider, like Edwards looks fine at his price tag at 56. Diallo looks great at 5,000. Terrence Ross at 4,700. Jordan Clarkson is down to 4,500. So you have your fair share of also cheap options here. But I do like LaVine as a pay up. At small forward, it's going to be Kawhi Leonard for me. I like him more than Durant. I like him more than Pascal Siakam. I like him a lot more than Jaylen Brown. Butler's also in play in that 8K range. And then if I'm going cheap, it's definitely Jeremy Grant, who's only 6,800. I think that looks great against Phoenix. Phoenix is a good defensive team, but Grant is just underpriced at 6,800 for the role that he has on the team. The high usage rate, great defensive player as well, getting blocks and steals. So he's one of my favorites at that price tag. And then you have some cheap plays like a Josh Hart, potentially Bridges, and then Kenrich Williams is min priced, 3,500. And then I think shooting guard wise, didn't mention him, but Valentine he's also small forward. He's 3,500 as well. So both of those guys look decent if you wanted to punt with one of them. Power forward, looking at like Giannis at 11-2 if you think this game is close. If not, you can definitely target Tatum at 95, or you can target Sabonis. I think Sabonis is a guy that I'll definitely have. If there is no Brown, then Tatum looks great. And then just a little bit worried about Giannis currently, just given how that game can go, and Giannis might not have to play in the fourth. Porters, if you think that game gets blown out, he could be a nice GPP play. And then they priced up Jared Allen, even with Drummond in, so I have no interest there. No interest in O'Neal, Ibaka. I like Baisley at 56, and that's kind of it. I think I don't want to go too cheap here. You have Patrick Williams as guy you can take a shot with. And then center, it's Vucevic, 88. Drummond is pretty cheap on FanDuel at 75, so he could be definitely worth a look. Young, I wish he was power forward. He's center, so that's tough, but he looks good, I guess. Horford looks decent, and then you have plenty of cheap options. Guys under 5,000, you have Zeller, Plumlee, and Steven Adams. I do like Adams at 5,100. I think you can take a shot with him. He's really cheap. He gives you like 6x to 8x upside at the salary pretty easily. So I think it's tough for me not to like him a decent amount. Just gets a ton of rebounds, and it's a fine spot against the Pacers. Gonna need his size out there. So pretty much it. Leaves you with still 6,000 plus on Fanduel. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and best of luck today.